not my buddy.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're already taking some strays as we're warming up. We're letting the room fill up. But Arnaldo, they're already hitting you hard.
Oh, they are?
I don't know if you've seen this one. Hang on. I got to prep you for this one. Good friend of the show, High Rank District Tom, says, did Arnaldo's copy of The Freight arrive with corner dings? Do we... Don't answer that because we need to lead into it. We need to hold the audience's attention, captivate, titillate. So Tom, stick around. Speaking Tom, not to go full on, but on my want list, you had a record. You had the Wien chocolate and cheese record that I meant to reach out to you about purchasing, and then you sold it. So congratulations. And inactivity, fortunately, bit me in the boo-boo. So good evening. Welcome in. Eddie is here. Good evening, Eddie. We've got KP Spins. Hello. Oh, no. Who the hell is the Freight? Now, this could be a really divisive comment, Mazzy, but you're about to find out. So sit down, pour a tall one, and then pour another one. Double fist it, and we'll get you caught up. BK is here. The Marines have just been deployed to keep order on this stream. Well, wow. I can't. That may be comment of the night. See, I just can't even. How do you top that? Robert Noah, hello, new friend. Robert Noah, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. I think you might have connected with me on the Instagram, as we say, the Instagram. Hello, Mr. Lavelle. Good to see you. Denny, SC37. Good evening. Wait, Groove Seeker. I know this name. Hi, Groove Seeker. Oh, wait.
Oh, hi.
There he is. Got him. Disco Devil says, can the real Mr. Bong please stand up? Well, funny you mention this. Mr. Bong is very passionate, and we hope he's going to make what they call a fashionable entrance. That means when you arrive late. So said he's going to be here. But, sometimes when you're bonging like Big Daddy Bong,
time gets away from you.
Yeah, you're pulling all these different directions. So it's something I can't personally relate to, but it is what it is. KRWD, hello. Good to see you. Well, we've got I think what we'll call a quorum. This is Surface Noise. Welcome. This is the show of record, talking about records. I'm your host, Concert Bidet, Concert Buddy. I've got so many names. But I'll be your driver tonight. And I'll be taking you on a journey to Vinyl Paradise. And joining me are some familiar faces and a new face who will be joining us shortly. Not John Bong. I'm just going to say sorry, special guest. But first, let's go into the introductions. We've got new with a membership option on his YouTube channel. It is David Bianco, Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. David, good evening.
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Excellent.
Good.
And then perhaps the biggest grande baseball fan I know. He was just explaining the game to me in ways I'd never heard it explained as someone who used to work in the industry. It's Arnaldo. The channel is Fidelios_frequency. Arnaldo, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Hey, everybody.
Always. And then his tag team partner from the Empire State, 6'5", Soul Divine. It is the Groove Seeker, Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, Concert Buddy. Hey, everybody.
Did you have the elbow pads ready? You ready off the top rope? Boom. We're ready. We're just dropping bows. And then I don't even know what to say at this point. He's been called things I have never even heard of. It's Jason. The name is Roll House.
That's right.
It's here. Good evening, Jason Roll House.
Thanks for having me back on, Concert Buddy. I heard it all since the second grade, Roll House, Roadhouse,
Roadhouse. Oh,
Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse.
That's
Shout
right.
out to the immortal Patrick Swayze.
That's right.
Crazy for Swayze. Well, if you saw the thumbnail, we've got a special guest, and we're trying something new. And this can go great, or it can go not so great. But I think it's going to go great. We've already kind of put him through the ringer, and he survived. He came out in flying colors. And that is our special guest. His name's Adam. He's from the band The Freight. He has a YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. He's very passionate about this format. So he's already won over these chuckleheads. But then you find out he's a musician, and he has a new album with the band The Freight, Tales of Maybe. And, you ready for this? Comes out in a matter of hours. Comes out literally in a matter of hours. Now he's making the rounds. So you probably see him on some channels like Melinda Murphy. I think even Mike Hubtunes. Mike Hubtunes is a little premature. He just shot out. I saw it on Instagram a couple weeks ago. He was super excited. So let's welcome to the stage Adam. Adam, good evening, sir.
Gentlemen, hello, Concert Buddy. Thank you for having me.
You get the faux clapping. Oh no, it's on repeat. You get extra. I want to get one free.
That's awesome. I'm really stoked to be here with you guys. It's very cool.
Awesome. Well, welcome. The water is warm, but I have to warn you. Sometimes our friends in the chat can get a little. But he's ready. He's from Boston. He's ready to crack some skulls.
I was born with very thick skin. We're good.
Now, what he didn't want to tell us is that he was an extra in the movie The Town, so he knows the moves. Okay, I'm just going to say that in advance. Anyway, well, see, listen, you're already being well received, Lavelle. This is hello, the Disco Devil, and then you knew this was coming. Chris from Record Talk says I was promised bong, and this is true, Chris.
Yeah, I get it. You'd be full permission to be disappointed. I get it.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Bong Daddy Big pops back in, but we'll see how this goes. So Adam, welcome. Great to have you. Obviously, super excited to talk about your album. You got to be super excited. It's about to be birthed into the world.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, Adam was kind enough to send us advanced copies because, we're kind of a big deal. And so we were able to sample the lusciousness that is this album. But before we go there, before you go forward, you got to go backwards. So let's talk about Tell us about everything. It's like a first date, Adam. Tell us about your musical experience. No, tell us about, obviously you love vinyl.
Yeah.
Musician. How does the path, you must love music. How does that begin for you?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, for me, it was, I had two uncles that were really into the Beatles, to bring it to your favorite topic, the Beatles. Sorry, right off the bat. By the way, I grabbed the monobox reissue. No big deal.
Attaboy, same here. No shame in that game.
But anyway, so yeah, and that really started my interest in music and guitar playing. And, I am, fully admit a very obsessive Beatle fan. It's, from there I started playing around 10, 11 years old, started taking it a little more seriously when I was a teenager. I went to Berklee College of Music, graduated in 2005. I was, doing the cover band thing, playing the solo acoustic gig things around the Boston and South Shore area, for a while. And yeah, I wrote some music while I was at Berklee, but not too much, and never really pursued the original thing. And then around, I'm married with kids, and that obviously slowed things down as far as the writing and the original music and things like that. But I got back in the groove, and the bug really bit me probably around 2016, 17. I started to really write more, put some feelers out. There's a big music scene on the South Shore where I live, and a bunch of really good musicians. And I, got together with some musicians from the scene, and we started The Freight. And I guess that's the abridged, brief version. But yeah, we've been together since about 2020. We've had some really cool things happen to us, and nothing huge or anything. But for a band that's independently releasing music nowadays, it's not easy. So you got to take every little win you can get. And
Sure.
It's been really fun. And this is our first full length record. And my love and appreciation of vinyl has really drove a big part of this record. And it really, the goal from day one, when we started recording this in January of 2024, was to make this sound good on vinyl. In whatever way our budget and whatever way we possibly could, that was our goal. And that's what we were setting out to do. That was the the primary goal. We had the music. We just needed to, execute, to get it to sound good. And,
So
music, yeah. So,
well, I was gonna say, let me ask you this, because they say you take your whole life to write that first album, right? That's like the story of your first life. Do you think that applies here? Because, like you said, you took a couple of deviations on the journey to releasing this album. Do you think that fits?
absolutely, absolutely. I think this record is it's I'm the primary songwriter and lyric writer. Steven Anderson, the bass player, is he also brings in, he has written, you'll see on this record, he's credited with a good few of the songs on here. He brought in some amazing music, and then I put some lyrics to it. But just to go along with that, I think I was at a point in my life where I was feeling settled enough to write. And for me, everyone writes differently. Every musician writes differently. So, there's no right or wrong way. For me, it was just, I kind of just struck while the iron was hot, and a lot of songs came to me in a similar amount of time, and they ended up being enough to accumulate the record,
Nice. Well, you're already taking some heat, and I don't know if this is heat or a compliment. Breakfast King, it's a rite of passage. How do you like them apples from the Breakfast King of Loyola?
Yep. It's all
First
good.
time you've heard that one, right? First time you've
Yeah,
heard
it's
that
all good. It's a fantastic movie. Nothing wrong with that. I'm all for it.
Melinda Murphy is here. She says, "Congrats,
Melinda. Melinda's so awesome. She gave me a shout out a long time ago. I have the smallest YouTube channel you can imagine, and she was like, I remember the first time she commented on one of her videos. I don't know. It was a few months, maybe it was like 5 months ago or something like that. She just gave me like a little shout out, and I happened to be watching it with my daughter next to me, and it was like one of the best moments because I'm just watching, as I always do, just sitting on the couch hanging out, and my daughter's next to me, and she's like, "And Adam from the Freight," and I'm like, and we looked at each other. It was just a really cool moment, and she's awesome. She's been really supportive of me, so she's great. I really love her channel too.
Real cool. Well, before we go around the horn with the Service Noise boys, a couple of quick questions. Record Keeper 33 RPM asks, "What genre is the Freight? How would you describe your style of music?"
Yeah, it's definitely classic rock sounding. I write in that realm, but it's I don't really limit myself. I try not to limit myself. I feel like there's a lot of different kind of flavors on this record, and I think it is all kind of classic sounding. But I mean, when I say that, I think there's maybe a little bit of R&B in there, a little bit of soul in there, a little bit of jam band in there, a little bit of improvisation in there. But it's definitely a classic sort of rock and roll sounding thing overall. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah, going back to the Melinda piece real quick. If you're in the vinyl community here on YouTube, I'm sure you've seen obviously Melinda. I think Emma, 8 Vinyl Low, God's Cop. So Adam's been passing them around, and I think this is what is good about the community, because I think it's been almost universal praise and appreciation for for Adam, sorry, and trying to get the word out there about the album. Hopefully you've still got copies to sell, because I know that giving them to us probably took some of your overhead off. But
listen, I think that's like a big thing, right? And I truly do mean this. I've made enough mistakes releasing music to for the last several years to know that like my intention for this was vinyl. It truly, for like since day one. And I've made enough mistakes releasing music digitally to know that it's easy to sort of throw promotional money or whatever you're doing as an independent artist. You have to wear every hat. You have to be the manager. You have to be the promoter. You have to be everything. And it's not easy. It's a lot of work. And I've wasted more money than I care to tell my wife. Sorry, Stacy, but it's not easy. And so, I had a very clear focus that I truly do love the VC. I watch all of you guys, and I love all of you guys watching your videos, and it's good shit. I really like it, and it clicked that like, why not? If I'm sort of loosely making videos, even though my channel is just small, whatever. But like even still, like it's you guys are the people that I want to. Even if you guys were the only ones that got the record, I'm cool with that. I really truly want to just get it to people that are interested in this medium and like hearing it the way that my intention was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I will say this before we get into other guys. We do have another musician on the dais. I don't know if you've heard of the Cult. How would you describe psychedelic horseshit, Jason?
Dude.
What kind of music would you say that your band puts out? Is it Destroyer? Is it Rage Against the Machine inspired? How would you describe that, Jason?
It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe in modern times, this is like VC troll music, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's very lo-fi. I mean, jokes aside, right?
Right,
I digress. So it's definitely like lo-fi, noise music. The new album will definitely sound different. Like the second record that they did without me was a very like modern dance record in a way, like more futuristic, more beats and stuff. So it's like farther away from the lo-fi stuff. And I think the third record that will come out, it's a mix of both. So
And can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Of course.
I have many questions for you, actually.
So you're an engineer too, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. And do you record yourself? Do they go through you working? Is that and obviously you're in the band?
I don't record anymore. No. When I did leave that band, like I did do some recording, went to some studios, and I couldn't get the sound right, and I felt what I found out later is that I needed like that crazy producer person, like sort of like a Guy Stevens, if you know him, like he produced that London Calling record by The Clash, right? You need that person to sort of force you to do things or give you that extra opinion that you may not prefer, right? So
Absolutely.
that's what was missing. And like eventually I actually had like a record tour. We came out with the 45 instead. It didn't pan out. Like it just, I don't know. Like eventually I think like, not to take away from you because this is about the freight, right?
No,
like,
dude.
Basically, like I don't know. Like we couldn't go through with any of it. I had to put a stop to it.
Oh, I think this is the answer. I don't know why it switched, but friend of the show, Record Keeper says Rojas just needed Kevin Gray.
That's right. If Record Keeper, if we could have boosted that bass in mid range, we could have been as good as that Rhino Hi-Fi Wilco AM reissue.
True. This is true. All right. Well, I've talked enough. I need to quench my thirst. Who would I care about? David. Now, not to bury the lead, and we'll talk more about the album. But I know just from a brief talk with David, I think David, not to steal your thunder, I think you enjoyed the album. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely loved it.
Oh, that makes me so happy, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a record that you throw it. The first thing that happened is it showed up, and I wasn't sure why I got it. I didn't remember, and I'm like, okay, because it didn't, it didn't. And I said, and then I put two and two together when Chance was talking to me. I said, I've been listening to this record, and I love it.
That's awesome. You got it. You got it, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, right. But I'm just going to say it jumped off the turntable. I mean, that's the words that I will use when I review this. It jumped off the turntable.
That's
and it, first thing that struck me was your label on front on all the detail that you did about who cut the lacquer, Ryan K. Smith, limited pressing. You gave the provenance, the source.
Yeah.
It went from a digital file to tape to console to lathe.
Yeah.
Which we know that's a big issue in the BC. And then pressed at Fidelity Record Pressings, which is Mobile Fidelity's company. And they have been hitting it out of the ballpark on what they've been doing. This is a 10 quietness. This is audiophile, UHQR type quiet.
That's wild to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, and it is, and some of the songs remind me a tad of Boston-ish type songs, ironically. Cool. I don't know if that's, by intent or what, but it does have that rock. And it had kind of the similar emotional feel when I first played that self-titled album. Like, where's this energy coming from? Where is this? That was really what I picked up. And then the song with what is it, a subway sounds or something with the train?
Long Road
That
Home.
was just so cool because it kind of took you into an environment immediately, But I'm just going to say stellar pressing, stellar lacquer cut just for the sound of the capabilities that was put into this. It's unbelievable. And then to boot, the music is great. So
Man,
this is a fabulous album, folks. It really is.
David, thank you so much. Truly, I mean,
Yeah, really love it.
awesome. I mean, that's it right there. You know, that's
You
what
guys
it's all
cared.
about.
It was
Show's over.
obvious.
Show's over. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody for joining us.
Here's the
guys,
thing. You guys took the time. Here, I try to tell people, getting a really good person like Sterling to do it, at the end, it isn't that much more expensive than other people. It really isn't
It's
in the
not.
grand scheme of things.
Yes, that was part of our process for sure.
Right.
Our process.
You can't cut corners, right? You didn't cut corners with that. You didn't cut corners with the pressing of the record. And you didn't cut any corners on the actual material, obviously, as well.
Yep.
So that just really is important, and I think it stamps a good first impression of your band, and I think that's really critical. And I props to all you guys in the band for doing that and you leading it.
Oh, that's great, man. Thank you so
Great.
much. Really, I mean,
Well,
that's what we were going for, David. So thank you
Yeah,
so much.
you hit it. You hit it.
Well, Arnaldo, I don't know how you follow that up. That was
I
we
know.
call it power.
I really don't know what else to add
Yeah.
because David kind of said everything I wanted to say.
It's awesome.
Except, well, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You know,
we really
best
appreciate
of luck. Tomorrow is the official release date, right?
it. Yeah, tomorrow's it, man.
So
That's
congrats on that. And
So,
thank
well,
you so much
real
for-
quick before Arnaldo launches in. So when the releases call it a Friday, is it technically midnight? Because then that would mean midnight. So in just a matter of hours of the live show from us tonight, go to your local streamers. Otherwise,
It's probably live already in Japan and Australia, correct?
That's a good point. Yeah. On the
There it is. There it is.
It's out there, yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Say Andy.
Yeah. So our friends in Japan are already just tasting.
It's probably
this
live
week.
in Europe as well, right?
Yep.
At this point.
I would imagine. Yeah.
So good luck. Fingers crossed for you guys. And all right, what else can I add apart from what David said? I could continue saying how well it's pressed. I haven't gotten a lot of MoFis lately.
Yeah.
But the one that I did get that was pressed at Fidelity really, I think, was better than RTI lately. And this is no different. What I did want to add that I don't think David mentioned, how well recorded it is.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, a rock record that's not compressed, where you
Yeah.
can actually
Yes.
hear you can hear the
Good point.
drums, you can hear the instruments.
You feel the drums.
Yes. Well, that's what. Yeah. That I don't know if you guys, the way you mic'd the drums, especially
drum.
the kick drum,
Oh,
is like fills the entire room and
yeah.
the other rooms around it.
Yeah.
In the next room.
It's a lot. It's a lot of kick. It's some of the songs more than others. There's a lot of kick.
But it's a defined kick. It's not a muffled and bloated one.
Yep.
So props for that. You guys,
Thank
I can
you.
tell you put a lot of. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the studio where you guys recorded, or the engineer is really excellent.
Yeah, his
So-
name's Jeff Rosen. Jeff Rosen's the producer. He was also the recording engineer and the mixing engineer. He's a good friend of mine. He's on the South Shore of ours in the band. We rehearse. We all have rehearsal rooms in this place called Soundcheck Studios, which is right near us. It's also a music venue where we're having our rehearsal release show. But we all have rooms in there. And Jeff is a great musician on the South Shore. And he's also a producer. He has a great studio in Soundcheck Studios. And so we recorded there. He's got a vintage Trident 65 analog board that we recorded through. And we've recorded other releases with Jeff minus that board. We just got that board recently. And so this record is the first one we've gone through that board. And I mean, Jason, you probably know too, being an engineer, like the stuff can make a difference. And that board has a sound. And we ran everything through it. There was nothing, even the things that we did overdub, we ran through the board, and it was magic. It's really an incredible sounding board. And again, it makes me so happy that you talk about like hearing the drums and the lack of compression. Me and Jeff especially, Jeff's the producer, he did it, but like me and him worked, sitting next to each other, and we were like, more open, more open, more open, more organic, more organic, more organic the whole time. That was really what we were going for, and we were really setting out to obviously we couldn't record to tape. It's just wasn't feasible. So that was our goal. That sound was our goal. So it makes me so happy to hear you say that, and I'll be sure to share that with Jeff too. That'll make him really happy.
Please do. Yeah.
I was actually talking like months ago to a coworker who is also a musician who records, and he was saying that the drums are the most difficult instrument to mic, and he put out a couple of singles. And when he told me, no, that I did play the drums, but they're all programmed. I was like, what do you mean? You didn't play the drums? And he said, no, the drums were it would have cost too much to mic all the drums properly. So I decided to just play them electronically, I guess, I don't know where he got the systems from, but it totally shines through. And I could tell that a lot of care was put into the recording and miking awesome, and everything. Yeah.
That's
can I tell you some of my favorite songs on it?
Please. Are you kidding? It's amazing.
I like the more soulful ones. So Gonna Choose Love and Good Kind of Crazy are my favorite ones.
That's Good Kind of Crazy was I think the universal
female background vocals, which really
that's my friend Erin McKenzie. She's a fantastic singer, and she has a killer band called the Wrens. She's it's her band, Original Music. Killer band. And they just released a record a few months back. It's fantastic. They didn't do vinyl, but it's out there and streaming. And she's so good. We did a single with her a few years back. We actually
I went to iTunes and I did.
Yeah,
I played some of the tracks that you have on iTunes.
Yeah, so we covered. We covered "Cool," that Gwen Stefani song.
Yeah, and it's funny.
We did a rock version of it. Yeah,
that's my favorite. Gwen Stefani song is cool.
I love that song. I love that.
It was a good version. I liked it.
Shout out to Mike Esposito with the Gwen in the background.
That's what we call an Easter egg. That's a service noise Easter egg. And if you don't know what it is, watch the rest of our programming. Couple quick questions for you, Adam, before we move it to the rest of the dais. Bandcamp, I saw, was a question. I think John Bandy answered that, so it is available on Bandcamp. Who else do we have? There was another question. I think Wyoming Dave was asking. Yeah, are there any free websites where you can hear the music? I'm assuming YouTube maybe have a couple videos.
Absolutely, yeah. The songs. So there are 4 singles from this record that have already been released. Those 4 are out there now. You can listen to them right now. They're wherever you listen to digital music streaming. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Tidal, whatever you use, it's out there. You can find us.
Hang on, I have breaking news. John Bong is currently listening to all 4 singles at once. So that is why he is running a little late. He's listening to them all at the same time. So
he's translating them as he's going as well.
I was telling you, Chance, I really need him to call this record a piece of shit for me to.
I told him that. I was like, look, I was trying to make it happen, but you know,
reputation, you gotta,
He's waiting on that coffee delivery at 110 degrees heat, so we'll give him.
What the
fuck? So, Mr. Rojas, kick it to you. Questions for Adam? Thoughts when you listen to the album, etc.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've showed it, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's make this.
Let's show it. Okay. So congratulations, Adam. Okay.
Thank you so much, man.
This was actually fun to listen to. Now I have some questions for you. Is this your first time releasing a record on vinyl?
It is.
Okay. So again, congrats. How does it feel?
Thank you. I mean, amazing. Honestly, truly amazing. Yeah.
Cool.
Probably because I've failed so many times digitally.
Really? So you've released music before, right?
Oh yeah. Yes, we have. Yeah, we have. We've never done a full album, but we've done singles for the last 5 years. Been releasing, sort of steadily releasing singles here and there digitally.
Okay, digitally. Okay. Do you ever plan to do a 7-inch or any of that?
So I've been, now that this is done, the thought has crossed my mind.
Okay. Maybe like an EP. I suggest that. I recommend it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to repeat what you've already put out, then do an EP.
Yeah.
Easier.
I can dig that. Hell yeah.
You recorded 9 songs on here. I'm pretty sure you probably recorded more, right?
Yeah, we did actually.
Okay, so that means you decided that this 9 had to be on the record, right?
Yeah.
Did you think you could put more, or would that ruin the fidelity, or you was set on the 9?
We had 11. And I did, and we all had, we as a band worked out that we, put some thought into into the track listing, and we
Oh.
after doing the math, it was more than 22 minutes aside, and I wasn't gonna have that. So so we nixed two. We nixed one from each thing.
Was that a hard thing to do?
For me, it was. For the rest of the band, they give me shit. So it was for them. They're like, yeah, these two can go, and I'm like, my babies, and they're like, yeah. But it was all right. It was all right. I was fine with it.
Very good.
2 LPs at 45 RPM.
I mean, listen, if cost was no object, David.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
telling
I
you,
get
I'm
it.
like-
Yeah,
I was going to call Chad and have him do it as an Atlantic 75 release. You know,
So you chose Ryan K. Smith. Was that the preferred choice, or did you have other people in mind?
he was number one.
Okay.
He was number one for sure. I really do like his work. I really do love his mastering work. For vinyl. I do truly. He's number one for me.
Can I ask a follow up real quick? Was it a Ryan Smith choice, or was it a Sterling choice, or a little bit of both? Because Sterling, I can't name a bad Sterling record.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, Ted Jensen has mastered some of our at Sterling. Has digitally mastered a lot of our other songs actually, and they're great. But it's digital, you know. And Sterling was kind of a no brainer, you know, because I've worked with them in the past and they're great. And but it really was like wherever Ryan Smith was, I would have tried to pursue him.
Good stuff. All right, Jason, anything else? We're moving on to the Groove Seeker.
I do want to say, like, I did enjoy like this sort of guitar, keyboard, like piano, like sort of duets in a way. Like very,
Awesome, yeah.
to me, it sounded very like Love and Spoonful in a way.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So I don't know if
That's
you had
cool.
that influence or that, like, what are your influences like that, you know?
You know, vintage rock and roll, I think first and foremost,
Okay.
to be honest, I really love the blues.
Okay.
I really love, you know, Jeff Beck. I love Jimi Hendrix. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, all those kinds of guitar god things. But I also like, you know, I really love Miles Davis. I really love improvisational music. You know, I got a lot of that while I was at Berkeley, and you know, whether I liked it or not, I got it there. But I think for better or for worse, I got it, and that kind of thing kind of rubbed off on me, where I do love improvisation. And even though, you know, the guys in the band will tell you, all right, Adam, enough, like the solo's gone on long enough, but like I have that bug in me, you know, and I do like, you know, I love the Allman Brothers Band.
Okay.
You know, I love Government Mule. I love Warren Haynes, that kind of thing.
Very good. Are you going to have like a release release party?
Yeah, man. Thank you for asking that. We're having one next Saturday, June 21st, at that place, Soundcheck Studios, in a place called Pembroke, which is right near where I live. And it's a good hometown venue, very cool spot. And it's, yes, we're excited about that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Enjoy it. Now we've got another question. This is I think this is Dave, my own devices. Is this an infomercial? Yes.
Yes.
This is 2,000% an infomercial. So have we
For
converted this?
$1
Yes.
we will send you.
We're aiming to feed the starving children and solve all the world's problems. So Dave, can we count on your donation? Answer it in the chat below. Thank you. All right, Groove Seeker. What do you got? Obviously, you also got a copy to taste before this fine presentation. Thoughts, questions, and if you're going to break it, don't break it on camera because we don't want to see the Rage Monster surface. Thank you.
No. So first off, congrats.
Thanks so much, man.
Very happy for you. I was shocked as you and I conversed offline before I knew you had a band, and I thought that was pretty cool
Awesome,
to get this. So thanks for sending it to me.
Yeah, I'm psyched. Honestly, just real quick, I'm so psyched. Honestly, all of you guys were cool with receiving it. I mean, that's a shot in the dark when you reach out to people, you know. Like, so thank you all, really.
The giant check underneath the merch did not hurt, Adam. Let me know when I can cash it, because you did say give it about 10
a couple
days.
weeks. You wait till after release day.
So I'm going to echo some of what Arnaldo and Dave said. When I opened the record, I read the hype sticker, and I'm saying for an independent band to put out such a quality piece of vinyl and packaging and put so much care into it, I was very happy for you, but it frustrated me that major label bands can't put this extra attention to detail on it. So this
Yeah.
makes it this makes it worth having because it's such a nice piece. And I thought that was great. Musically, my favorite song has Come So Far. I think that's the
dude.
fourth track on side A. I really dug that.
That's a very introspective song for me.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about, I have a lot of questions about the approach to the songwriting because that's what interests me about the record. So first question is, like, when you guys are recording this, do you turn off the outside world musically? Because I have a lot of musician friends that don't listen to music when they're in like gig mode or they're in recording mode. Like, do you try to stay away from that to remove the influence, or do you not pay attention to it, or do you just go on day to day the same way you always would be going on?
I think, I mean, I truly think everyone's different, and everyone who writes music is different. For me, it's like, it literally is like a strike while the iron's hot thing. Like, if it hits me, there's really not much that would stop me from writing. Like whether, I don't know, it would just, like other things can be going on, but it doesn't usually take me very long to write a song, to write the lyrics for a song, the melody for a song. But that's just the way I write. But for example, it's been a hot minute since I've actually written a song. Do you know what I mean? So like when it's with me, it's with me, and I kind of go with it and it happens. But it's different for everybody, like some people have to do that. Some people have to turn shit off, and there's plenty of people like that. It's not necessarily like that for me. I kind of just know when it's there and when I'm feeling like inspired to do it, that's it.
I do have to we have a dono because I challenged him. This is Norman Maslow. To all the Dreamweavers, congrats, Adam. So thank you. I do have to play the joke. Norman did say this is like a bar mitzvah speech line. And so then I challenged him. I said the donation box is coming up and on cue.
I appreciate it. And Mazzy's awesome.
Making it rain. Yeah, Dr. Johnny Fever. Listen, don't make Mazzy feel all alone. If you guys want to throw out them shekels, we're all about it around here. This is an equal opportunity situation. Anyway.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I refused to do was stream your previous stuff before I got this record. And I put it on. And you have such a soulful voice, man.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You like really capture me. And I think all the technical effort you put into the record and the sound you were looking for, I think that it's supported by the style of music that you put forth. And I can tell that you're into what you're writing and into what you're performing. So that was really refreshing.
I appreciate it.
I was going to ask you about influences too. I picked up on the Almonds and the Trucks influence for sure.
Yeah, see in the chat they're saying Johnny Lang. Is Johnny Lang an influence?
I mean, I love Johnny Lang, dude. He's a badass. I love Johnny Lang.
When it came to the rhythms on the piano and the guitar, I got a little Fish Studio vibe.
Oh, any opportunity this guy can weave into the conversation.
I love it.
And you mentioned, and that's a compliment too, especially
I
like
appreciate it,
studio records. I'm curious because I could tell before you mentioned the improv, I could tell you guys could go there. I felt like you guys could go there. So when you're going to play this live, is this going to get stretched? Are these tunes going to get stretched, or how does that look? How does that look in your live?
It's gonna look like it's as stretched out as the rest of the band will let me stretch out. They love to reel me in. So there are certain songs we jam. This time, I don't know. This time is that kind of Allman Brothers-y sounding thing on side 2. It's one of the singles that's out now. That one we definitely stretch out. Come So Far, I usually stretch that solo out.
Nice.
There are certain songs that I stretch out, and there are other ones that we keep sort of the integrity of the song. I think that's what's awesome about the other guys in the band is we've developed ourselves and our sound over the last 5 years. We didn't start out where we are now. I think we're all better musicians than we were when we started, and we all kind of rub off on each other. But like all the guys have taken me in the right places. Like sometimes you don't need to hear a guitar solo all the time. You don't need to hear or whatever it is. You just don't need it. The song doesn't need it. And it's really just about serving the song. So some of the songs, like for example, Long Road Home, that one with the train intro there, that doesn't have a guitar solo, that won't have one live. That's going to stay just the way it is. And some of the songs are just like that. But the ones that have the solos, I tend to stretch a little.
Nice. And what's your songwriting process like? You mentioned like lyrics and melody. Does that come first for you, and then you bring the idea to the band and it develops? Like what? I mean, I'm sure it's different for every song. I don't want to overgeneralize on it, but take me through a little bit of some of the stuff in the lab that happens.
So for me, it's I have done both. I have done both where I have some lyrics that come to me, whether it's an idea of a verse or a chorus, or I don't know if it's a verse or a chorus, but it's something, and I write it down. And then I have a couple hundred voice recordings of just little things I play on a guitar. Anytime I do something that I like, I'm like, oh, I got to record that, because I inevitably forget it. I can't think of how many things I've forgotten that I never recorded. So I try. There are definitely a lot of times where I have music first, and then if the music moves me, like if what I'm doing moves me or what I'm hearing moves me, it's so much easier to write for me.
Yeah.
So I think I've done both, but I think like if I have a musical idea, or at least a theme of something that is moving me to write, it's just a lot easier.
And like lyrically, when I first listen to a record like this, like I don't pay attention to the lyrics too much. I'm just trying to get the vibe of the album, and musically it's like more important to me. But then as I'm listening to the lyrics on the third time around, autobiographical, observational, kind of both.
Yeah.
Like, are you writing from your perspective a lot, or someone else's perspective?
So yes, I think to all of it. That's what like the Tales of Maybe thing is. It's me. It's my life. I can only write about my life. I'm not good at writing about other things. I'm good at writing about what I know, and I know me. And it's things that could have happened, things that did happen. Sometimes it's a made up thing in my head. Sometimes but it's all related to like my life experiences. But I also think we're all a lot more similar than we care to admit in a lot of ways, and it tends to be relevant for other people, then that's great. But it's that's what it is. It is definitely my experiences, but some of it's like, what if I went this way in my life? What if I went this way in my life? What if I did this? What if I just turned right instead of left there? Whatever.
Pretty cool. Now, the other guys in the band, I'm assuming you guys like this is a side passion for you. Is this your main career?
I know, man. So that's part of the what kind of took me away from music for a little bit of time, not fully, but like it's when I was doing like the solo acoustic thing only in bars and stuff. I have a master's degree in special education. I was a special education teacher for almost 20 years. I left teaching in 2020, and I started my own business as a special education advocate. So I work with, helping kids and families get services.
That's awesome.
You just
Beautiful.
thumbs up from someone here in the room.
What's that?
You just got 2 thumbs up from someone here in the room.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
What's the dynamic with you guys with working and practicing? Like how much is it like any chance you guys get, or you guys have like a schedule? Like what's that like?
We have a schedule.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just feel like when I hear this record, I have a lot of friends that have put out albums and EPs and singles, and they're listening. They'll probably get mad at me because I'm being snobby, but like everything they put out always feels so rushed and manufactured.
Yeah.
Like this feels like a very passionate record in a way where it's like you really hang on and believe to what you're doing. So I'm curious, you're balancing life, family, work.
Yeah.
Like what's that dynamic like?
And now YouTube superstardom.
Yeah,
you have your own YouTube channel.
And surface noise. So yeah.
And surface noise. I mean, a healthy diet of surface noise will give you cancer sores. That's been proven. It's science.
So yeah, I mean, well, dude, first of all, thank you. I mean, like that means a lot. It's it honestly, since I left teaching, I had my own business. It's I feel a weight lifted because I'm my own boss, and I have I'm not doing something for someone else. And my day job is me. Like I'm in control of my schedule. I'm in control of what I do. So since I've done that, it has freed me up to write more because I feel less pressure in my daily life. It's because I'm my own boss. I'm not listening to shit from whoever, and that has helped actually since I've started my own business. So that definitely helps as far as like time goes, and as far as like less stress in certain ways. There's always going to be stress, but and as far as like us rehearsing goes, we rehearse every Monday. We try to rehearse every Monday, bar none. We occasionally miss some, but like we've put in a lot of work, and I would love to believe that we're not. Love to believe I'm not nearly as good as I'm going to be by the time I'm gone. You know what I mean? So I want to just keep working, keep getting better. That's the mindset. We have come a long way as a band, musically, and I love these guys like they're my brothers, and it's a camaraderie that we've grown together, and I think we're all older, right? We're not in our 20s anymore. You know what I mean? We're older guys as far as like the music world goes. We're probably ancient, but like I also think my number one thing when I formed this band was chemistry. I'm too old for the band bullshit. I'm too old to like. I'm not trying to like. I don't know. I'm just like there was a lot of things on my list that I wasn't about to do in a band. Being this age at this stage of my life, so it was very focused with the guys we picked, and the musically direction that we wanted to go. Chemistry and musical direction was first, and I think that probably hopefully shows in this eventual album product that we're putting out.
Awesome. Chance, I have two more. Is that all right?
Yeah. We're to use Arnaldo's favorite sport analogy, probably rounding.
I'll be less long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, it's my fault because I'm a little bit out of order too. My questions. So I've one question, one other quick fun question at the end. Take me through the recording process. I don't know if this has happened, but I managed a band, different sound than you, but like I feel like the same soul came out of it. This was years ago when I was in school. What's the recording process like? Are you guys playing live together and then kind of overdubbing? Because I get the sense that might be part of it. I hope my read is right, but take me through how you went through with that.
Yep. So we recorded all the songs, the bass tracks live. So all of our instruments live first, with me doing a scratch vocal, and then the scratch vocal gets nixed, and I overdub the lead vocal eventually. And then other things that were overdubbed were like auxiliary percussion, any harmonies we overdubbed after the fact, those kinds of things. If there needed to be like an acoustic guitar, obviously I can't play two guitars at once. So like, we go back and we record the acoustic, overdub that. But I think one of the main things was running through that Trident board with Jeff Rosen was really magic.
Awesome.
And it is Chris's birthday, so one more, Chris, and then we'll start.
Oh, happy birthday, dude!
Thank you. I see Johnny Peepers coming out. He doesn't realize I run a sales organization, so I have a lot of questions. So one last question: you're gonna play live. What are you gonna cover?
Dude, so we have a couple of jammy covers. That's where the guys allow me to stretch out. One song we do lately that has really been going over well is Sledgehammer.
Nice.
And we really
Gabriel.
Yeah. And we really jammed that one. They let me stretch out whether they like it or not on that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, congrats, dude.
Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, before we cut you loose, or you're welcome to stay for the freestyle. I mean, this is again, John Bong is stuck in customs. I got some word while Chris was asking his questions. Apparently there was he was a frenzy at the Tijuana airport. And so John Bong is hopefully going to join us. But a couple quick questions. Let's go with Elliot Cruz. What about touring? Are you doing a club circuit up and down East Coast or anything like that? Festivals in warm months?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. I've been so engulfed with like trying to promote the record and trying to get it out that it's been hard to coordinate. But yes, that is that is part of sort of the long-term goal. It's yeah.
Perfect. And then Melinda Murphy, is there a song on the album that is a sentimental favorite and why? And crying is optional. There's no shame in that game, but just let me know ahead of time so I can put on the sad music. Thank you.
you know, they're all kind of cool to me. I write the lyrics to them. I think maybe "Gonna Choose Love" was, you know, a very personal song for me.
I dig it. Any more questions? Service
got a
Noise
quick
Boys.
one.
David's got one. Rip it.
Yeah, Adam, on the timing stuff. Once you got mixed down to the digital 2-track,
Yeah.
Can you give us a little timeline of getting it to Sterling, getting the
Yeah.
lacquer,
Yep.
fidelity? Did you do test pressings? What was kind of the timing of that?
White label promo, David.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there you go.
Wow, there.
So actually, there's a date on here. This is the date we got the April 23rd, 2025. Sorry, if
Okay.
can you guys see that?
Yeah, there you go.
Lift it up a little bit if you could. There you go. Yep, boom.
There
Boom.
you go. Beautiful.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
How many iterations did you go through on test pressings?
The first one was it.
Okay, cool.
Fidelity, Fidelity was so incredible to work with. There's a guy there, Todd Curtis, who was like the project manager who worked
Yeah,
with me.
right, Todd. Yeah.
Man, it exceeded all my expectations. He answered all my questions. He was so good to work with. I think he's, you know, it's his job, but he was seemingly excited about the project too. You know, it was awesome. It was awesome. He sent me videos that I've shared on my channel as well of like the process and the pressing. So like from when we stopped recording, I want to say it was, so that test pressing was mid-April. I want to say it was probably March, the middle of March when we finished recording, and we started recording January 11th or 12th of 2024. So it took over a year to fully record it, and then we got the first step was we got it mastered by Patrick DeCenzo, who's an incredible mastering engineer in the Boston area. He's an he's a younger guy. He works at a studio called Q Division. He does some freelance work too. Really awesome up and coming guy. He's really good. And we told him, we want this mastered to sound good on vinyl, and we feel like he nailed it. We got it to that. From there, we got it to Ryan K. Smith. He ran it through his analog chain. From there, he cut it to his tape. That took probably 2 weeks from the time we sent him the files to get there, and then he cut the tape. From tape, he cut the lacquer,
Right.
and then the lacquer got pressed. That probably took another 2.5, 3 weeks. And then the press, I got the test pressing in April 23rd or 25th, whatever that says. So you're talking about like, a month to 6
Pretty
weeks.
quick.
Pretty
Really.
impressive. Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive for, high-end people, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So that tells us a lot of things about lead times in the industry and, even reproduction of the records and everything.
I would say total probably 6 weeks from when we sent the files to when we got the finished product. That's six to 8 weeks tops, I would say.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So
that's
Adam, you were lucky that Taylor Swift did not release something.
Oh, and jam up the pipes, dog.
You telling me.
Or Adele.
I had 2 questions for Adam.
Yeah.
Go for it.
You said was 6 weeks the lead time that Fidelity record pressing told you that from when they get it is when they can deliver the copies?
Yeah.
That's actually not bad for a small run.
I didn't think so at all. Honestly, I was expecting. That's why it took me so long to do a release date, to like nail a release date down. Because nothing's done in this business until it's done, and like I wasn't about to mess around and promise something and then it's not delivered.
Oh, that's never happened.
And second question I had is, did you get different files for mastered for CD, vinyl, and for streaming?
Great question. I use the same mastered files for all of them. Yep, I use the same mastered files for all of them. The difference is on the vinyl that obviously we have the went through Sterling Sound and Ryan K. Smith's analog chain, and he cut those to tape, and then he transferred those to analog tape, and then the analog tape was
lacquer.
was what the lacquer was. I got and I have tape box there.
Yeah, I think didn't Dylan Pagan did a review for Tracking Angle.
He
Had
did.
that photo, I
Yeah,
think.
he did. Yeah. Yep.
2 9s. Congratulations. That's great.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we got 2 more from the gallery, and then we'll wrap up podcasts proper. Let's see. The first one is Elliot's back. How many did you press to vinyl?
500.
500. And I'm going to follow that up with easiest way to procure one. Is it Bandcamp? Is it direct website?
Yeah. So, God, I don't even know what the Bandcamp link is off the top of my head. If you just go to thefreightband.com.
I think John Bandy had it earlier. We'll dig it back up.
Yeah. Thefreightband.com is our home site. And then right on the front page, you'll see the link that you can buy it from. And then it is through Bandcamp right now. I may be updating that tomorrow after it's released, but as of right now, it'll go through Bandcamp, but thefreightband.com.
Perfect. And the last one I got for you is
wait, Chance, you got to show Tom's comment.
Well, I was going to do it. Is it a double, Tom? Because I was going to highlight this one. Adam, is Brad Marchand dead to you, or are you rooting for the Panthers?
He's killing it right now, right? I mean, like, I'm not the big. I'm sadly not the biggest hockey guy, but I know that he's killing it, right?
He's doing okay, but I will always remember 2019 and sending him home happy in Game 7. I'm sorry.
There you go. That's right.
Less than happy. Yeah.
I get it. It's all good.
Good stuff. Well, I have actually, so Concert Buddy, myself, I just put the link out there if you're watching live. Show notes, we'll have all this in the podcast if you watch this on the rerun, which we do get some run on the rerun, but pick up a copy. Do you have, can I ask, because I know you sent out some advanced copies to some smoking sexy men like us and folks like Linda Murphy and them, and like we said also, how many copies do you have? Do you still have the 500 to sell, or do you have about 317? Let's be honest.
I honestly don't know the number off the top of my head that we've sold, but I can tell you that we have sold a silly amount more than I was thinking. The only ones that I was going to be missing were the ones that I sent out to you guys in the vinyl community, honestly. So the fact that we've sold anything at all, it means the world to me, because at the very least, I know that it's going to the people that will. Even if you don't like the music, I just hope you maybe think it sounds like the sound quality is good. That would be cool with me. Because
I want to buy a signed copy, and then I'm going to give away on one of my subscriber shows the one you sent me.
Oh,
so that way I've got a nice signed copy of it, because that's what.
There's always Bianco's angle. He wants those signed copies.
Oh, yeah, it's my pleasure, my honor to send you one.
Oh,
only if you shoot it out against the Steely Dan.
And that's the guy who watches Surface Noise right there.
Adam, don't lose that number.
Love it.
Good stuff. Well, Adam, it was such a pleasure. I'm gonna piggyback as we kind of wind it down, because I was like Chris. I tried not to listen to the music before you sent the copy, because I wanted to have kind of a taste test, right? I wanted to come in with a clean palette, wash my musical palette, and I hope this sounds like a compliment because it's meant as one. It reminded me of if you just out for the night, you duck into a bar, and there's that one smoking band that you're like, damn, this is like vinyl or music serendipity. That's how I discovered Gary Clark at Bonnaroo.
Oh yeah,
just ducked in 2010. Blew my socks off, and that's kind of how I was having similar vibes, because I'm like, this is you just go into a bar, these guys are ripping, and you're like, man, what a great night, because the music made the night. So hopefully it comes out as a compliment, because it's the way it's meant. But that was my first impression, was this is that kind of feeling. So
amazing compliment. Thank you so much, man.
Anyway, well, that is our time with Adam. And again, if you want to stick around for the freestyle, Adam, feel free. But
I'll stick around, and I will not be wordy. I'll do more listening.
You got to rest those pipes. You did a lot of talking, my man. You got the press circuit tomorrow. I'm sure you got to go through the other live streams, the lesser live streams. Yeah, I said it, the lesser. Anyway, well, this is Surface Noise. Adam, thank you for joining us. Such a pleasure, sir.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Really, I appreciate all you very, very much.
And then obviously these familiar faces. I got to give them the rub, because they're stars in their own right. I think the name change is officially complete. Jason Rollhouse. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Concert Buddy, and thank you, Adam.
My pleasure, man. Thank you. Seriously.
And then David, the channel is Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. Please sign all my records. David, thanks for joining us.
Boy, you got to carry that freight.
Love it.
And then Arnaldo, if you don't know his channel, what's wrong with you? It's Fidelius_frequency. Headed to Cooperstown this weekend for the Baseball Hall of Fame. Arnaldo, thanks for joining us.
I just want to remind everyone, make sure you get one of the first 500 pressings.
Man, that's awesome.
So
You saw it here first, folks.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then last but certainly not least, birthday boy. When we were putting this all together, that was one of the things that kind of came up with his birthday. So, and jumped in with both feet. That was the first thing he said. It's my birthday, and I'm going to do this. It is the Groove Seeker. Chris, thanks for joining us, and happy birthday.
Thank you, Adam. I just have
Happy
2 more
birthday.
questions. Everybody, make sure they grab this awesome record. Congratulations, well done. All the best to you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Chance.
Got it. Well, look at that. Now we got a real challenge, because I sent John Bong a text and I said, "Hey man, you got to shake loose of whatever's the Policia, that errant DoorDash." So this is going to be I think it's going to be an immortal story. I think he's detained, because usually he's pretty prompt about responding. So
I think the safe house is compromised.
it could be the safe house could be compromised. Bong headquarters, it's been debonged. So I think
The tomato lady, she
Yeah, she
now
ratted us out.
that's the only redeeming thing. If there was like a gunfight and he protected the tomato lady and her 7 copies of the Tracy Chapman record for $5, and maybe, just maybe, we would forgive him.
she wanted
All right,
those
well,
copies back. Right?
Yes, exactly. Well, let's see what's cooking. We've got look at all these happy birthdays. You got a happy birthday from Rob Walker. That is big doings right there.
Yeah.
Wow,
What are you
the
doing?
legend himself.
The legend, Mr. Vinyl Tag. It hasn't been the same. I'm gonna be honest. It hasn't been the same. This year, it was a mess. But Rob is the glue that held all that together. So I know Rob and I haven't always saw eye to eye, but I give him props on that one. And then man, look at this. We've got Mrs. Groove Seeker was here earlier. Did I see that? I mean, this is coming to Wyoming Dave. Here we go, Wyoming Dave. He's singing to you. Wyoming Dave, please put your clothes back on. It's Chris's birthday, but we don't want a birthday suit. No birthday suit required. Thank you. Tom, Hiring District, happy birthday. Man, I tell you what, I probably need to declare my birthday. This is a lot of positivity. We're not used to this in the vinyl community.
Now you got to bring it down. Show Stunty's recent.
Oh no, hang on. This one?
No.
Oh, he's been hot in the chat, so I gotta find these. Hang on, he says Stunty says John Bong is currently hiding in my basement, but I'm willing to hear your price. Oh no, not a ransom situation. We had this before, and that didn't end well. That was rough. That was rough. Well, we call a leftover from the show notes, and I know Tom. I'm sorry, it's not a freestyle. I understand, but this is. Surface Noise it's a car crash. Rob Walker is right. It's a car crash. Let's talk vinyl myths. Vinyl myths. Now, what this means, it could mean a lot of things. It could mean my channel's a myth. It could mean Arnaldo's baseball fandom is a myth. It could mean a lot of things. But in terms of vinyl myths, this is kind of like a working kind of thing. I'm going to kick it off. So I had a vinyl myth. I was really convinced that coming out of COVID, a lot of the youngs picked up the hobby of vinyl. They're stuck at home at the Crosleys and mom and dad and grandma's old records. And then they bought so much of the Taylor Swifts and the Sabrina Carpenters and all that kind of stuff. And I was convinced that when things kind of outdoor picked up, concerts, things to do, etc., I thought that there would be a mass of those type of records being sold at the local stores, that to the point where you wouldn't be able to move the bins. Think about all the Vinyl Me Partons that are currently jamming the bins, right? I thought that would be the youngs bringing the records into sale, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm very surprised. I don't know if they're holding on to them. I don't know. Even when we've talked about it before, the pricing coming up, $40 for a new LP. That's got to turn away the youngs. I don't think it's doing it. So Vinyl myths. David, you want to kick us off on this one? Do you have a vinyl myth that you just you thought was going to happen and just hasn't, or where it come from?
Yeah, I think the myth was that we were going to know what the other Atlantic 75 titles were going to be by now. Or as I said to the waitress, oh, myth.
Yeah, I'm going to put that one up there with like the UFOs and Roswell, Bigfoot sightings, and what are those last 3 to 4 Atlantic 75 titles that, what, a year later, we still don't know?
I think they're waiting for more Atlantic artists to die to figure out which one's going to work out the best. I'm not sure.
Damn.
Ice cold.
Stone cold. I like it. I like it. Arnaldo, do you have a vinyl myth that you can share with us, that something that you thought would happen and maybe hasn't happened, or a preconceived notion that's not true?
That I have the definitive version of Kind of Blue.
Man. Which definitive version?
Well, I'm debating between the double 45 in the big box and the 33 in the big box.
That should have been renamed Kind of Black and Blue, actually. You guys were beat to death with that, right?
Well, hey, listen, you got to give Chad credit for one thing. Just when he thought he beat you up enough on Kind of Blue, then he had Birth of Blue. So let's just pop that zit one more time and let's get a little bit more Birth of Blue. So.
But it said diaper not included. So that's it.
One whole queue back there is all Kind of Blue records.
Oh, Chris, I knew you're. I knew it.
It's just a run of Kind of Blue.
Huge.
I don't know what's worse, you having that or you admitting it. I'm not which is worse.
It's no secret. It's no secret.
Just wait for the room tour. When the inevitable room tour that is like a badge of honor, a rite of passage, he'll show it to us, and we'll be blown away. There is one in the chat that I thought was very apropos. Big dono today from Norman Maslov. He says the myth that Chad would ever do Steely Dan 33s.
That's a good one.
Steely Dan 33s. Fair.
Well, no, there's a pre-myth on that. The fact that they would sell them all so that they could sell 33s.
Oh,
There's,
shit.
you know, you got to have the precursor to it.
Yakko's on fire in the
He's killing it. Mr. Rollhouse, what do you think about like a vinyl myth, like a preconceived notion that has been disproven, or maybe it's taken longer to come to potential fruition for you?
This is tough. I could say a lot of bad ones, right?
Hey, let loose. We have a guest. We don't want to hold back for our guest, Adam.
No, let it roll.
All right, since Adam is on the panel, welcome to the freestyle, Adam. The myth that DSD is evil, right? You know, just because I've done plenty of MoFi, I've only done 3 MoFi reviews. I think David Bianco has done more than me. The only one that's won so far maybe would be the Miles Davis Bitches Brew, but it sounds different in a way,
It is different.
And I don't think that one's bad, rather than say the New York Dolls that I did, that was like not right. And then I was on my way to do the Stone Temple Pilots Tiny Music before my computer, said, hell no. We actually did it after the stream, right, on Monday, right?
Yeah.
My Monday stream, and you could really hear it in tripping in a paper hole. Like something was wrong.
Oh, no. My copy is currently being plaqued by Plaid Room. Congratulations on our anniversary sale. I got mine for the low price of $51, so my hope is that it's not a complete albatross.
So wait, on the MoFi you said it? You said that, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, there's good things about it. Like it has like a wider soundstage,
yeah,
right? But it seems like Scott Weiland, he's in the back. Like,
okay, so listen, that's so funny you say that. I actually, on my BS little YouTube channel, I did a review of it, right?
Yes, you did, yeah.
But I didn't have anything to compare it to, except the CD that I had from the 90s. And so I had no reference point. I just had that for vinyl, and I thought it was really good. But my one thing that I thought too, it's so funny you say that, his vocals, man, his vocals were not, I felt like, where they should be. But that was my only knock. I thought the rest of it sounded really great. But
Old Machine Gun Roll House. What else you got for us? You said you've been banking these. What's another one you got for us?
No, let's just go around the
We'll
panel.
move around. All right,
Let's
pass
do
the
the
ball. I
photos.
like it. That's good. It's very democratic. Before we get back to the day of Cesar, friend of the show, legend, he says the myth that Tool Enema reissue is coming very soon. The drummer even falls by his own myth. Yeah, that's true. That's been one of the ones that's been out there for quite some time. Side note, friend of the show, Robert Fithen, has an original. If you watch one of his latest videos, because he used to work in radio, he has a original that he was given, still in shrink, that is being sold on consignment by Riverbend Records. Follow him on social media. I don't know what the price is. I haven't asked. I can tell you it's probably not going to be cheap, but it looks like a very nice copy. So if you're in the neighborhood or in the mood, Riverbend Records, and everybody wins except your wallet. So I apologize in advance, but doing another myth. Richard's Tap House, Vinyl Tap House, says the myth, quote, that's out of print. And that's probably apropos. That's probably apropos. Our friends at Rhino played that card on us early on in the Rhino Hi-Fi series. And fortunately, I think a lot of us might have moved on or sold those bonus babies.
Well,
before.
it was true with MoFi as well until people returned them. Then it.
Yeah,
They
they filled the pipeline. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Bobby Gass is here. Hello, Bobby. Another myth, Alan, always. Myth, Midnight Vultures reissue is coming soon. Yeah, I wouldn't count on that, Daddy. I don't think that's going to happen. All right, Arnaldo, vinyl myth.
That smaller, not even smaller, that major label releases will always be in print. Not your catalog staples like Rumors, Hotel California. You're talking about some artists that either only make it to one or two albums. You didn't get them at the time. The label's not repressing them.
What about Talking Heads? Is Talking Heads one that should always be in print, full catalog?
No, those will always be in print. But I'm just talking, there are some releases on the label that I work for. They're not going to be released anytime soon again. And I see some prices there. And I was like, that's ridiculous that Cranberries record costs that much money. But for example, from a business point of view, I don't think the labels will always do a small run
to appease the masses.
Correct, because it costs them too much to do a small run. And for example, look at Beyonce's self-titled album. That's been out of print for 10 years, almost 8 years. I mean, it came out, I think maybe the first run. So don't always think that recent releases will always be in print.
What's that saying? Buy now, cry later. I think it has a.
Yeah, that is true.
I think, is Chad going to put that on his epitaph? Is that a vinyl myth? That's going to be, here lies Chad Kassam, buy now.
Well, you know, I've been
no. It's for Tombstone. It says lie now, cry later.
I've been teasing this video that I should make at some point, but it will be buy now, cry later, and sadly, it's true.
It is. It is
painful. Birthday boy, Groove Seeker. What's a vinyl myth you got? Round two.
I guess my version of this is I thought when MoFi Gate hit that was going to cause a lot of issues for MoFi and their business continuity, but they seem to rebound and they seem to listen to the market.
Yep.
They're doing new titles that are 30 years old, which is good to see.
That's Irish new.
They're focused on the surface noise demographic because it's all titles that we were semi interested in, at least some combination of us. So I think the myth.
No, go ahead.
Arnold.
No. Your point about MoFi in the 80s and 90s. MoFi was doing titles that had just come out a few years earlier. Right now, It seems like the most recent record was Alanis Morissette, and that is 30 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Whoa, guys. Oh my God. I don't even know if I have the music queued up for this. I think we've got breaking news. Oh my gosh. I hope I wore the brown pants. Hang on a second. We've got In the Flesh. straight from the strip show in Tijuana. It's John Bong. John Bong, hello.
Hello.
Where have you been, John?
I was in traffic.
You were in where?
Traffic. I was in traffic.
Oh my gosh! You don't
Stevie
have a police
Winwood when you were
escort? Yeah,
there?
where's the
Right.
police escort for
Stevie
John
Winwood,
Bong?
Jim Capaldi, Chris Wood.
Yeah,
Right?
Stephen Winwood. I don't know where you were.
I don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about,
One.
but nice to be here. Hi.
Did John, international superstar? Did you have a chance to sample the digital music of our guest Adam? And he's dying to hear you call it a piece of shit.
Wait, let me get the light first, and then I'll.
Oh, see, hair and makeup is really falling apart in Bong Studios.
No, it's just hot, and I don't want to turn down the other light.
Should have kept him in the green room.
Yeah. I mean, he was. I mean, the Bong press agent was really hitting us with the backstage chat, and then I saw the majestic.
By the way, I was at the mall, right? And
MAUL.
I don't get this Dubai. Fuck the Dubai chocolate. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, I'll be back.
He's come in. He's making up for lost time. He's dropped those 2 F-bombs to get the water warm, and he has left us. He's left us.
So the MoFi thing on this, I really thought they were gonna fail miserably. And to Mazzy makes a good point. I know they don't have control over the licensing, but I do see them rebounding and putting titles that are nostalgic for us in this demographic, this audiophile demographic. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, the more of these labels out, the better for competition and all that good stuff. But
now that the cat's out of the bag with DSD, they can go to digital stuff. Before it was like the dirty little thing not to do. So it gives them a lot of latitude.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, David.
I want to say quickly to Stunty that maybe he doesn't realize this because he lives in Europe.
Oh no!
But there's something called Uber.
We've got a transatlantic fight breaking out between our friend John Bong.
The guy thinks he can only be in traffic if you have like.
I have to read the direct quote for context to our audio listeners. Bong is a fucking liar. He does not have a car. Fucking liar. So he's matched you in the F-bomb. It's 2-2 in the F-bomb war. But you're going to lose. The Bong is like the machine gun of F-bomb. So I bet on Bong.
Uber.
Bet on Bong. So John Bong. Back to what I asked before. Did you have time to sample Adam's new record? And it's okay if you didn't. It's no big deal. We
I listened to like 3 tracks. That's all. I did.
And what did you think on that first listen? Was it a piece of shit as we are?
No, why do you think I'm going to say it's a piece of shit? It's like, are you desiring it or something?
I was honestly, I was joking with Concert Buddy that like I won't feel like I made it unless you tell me it was a piece of shit. Like I love that.
No,
I love that about no, but it wasn't like it's like I really love that about you. I love how critical you are of shit. Like I was happy to hear it.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. I think I have to listen to a whole thing before I tell you.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We're trying to build to the inevitable Freight Aurora Central collab because it's coming. Yeah. Like it's inevitable.
And I like a lot of different things. I like from country to harsh noise. It's just I like a little bit of everything,
John Bong, we got Dr. Johnny Fever, a certified physician, says you are at Hot Topic. Can you confirm or deny that you're at Hot Topic?
Unfortunately, there's no Hot Topic over here. I remember going to visit family in the U.S. and I would always go to Hot Topic. I don't know why, but I do remember like being in the U.S. when there's a Jimi Hendrix Neptune Valleys or whatever the fuck the record's called. I remember being there and seeing that record there. I remember when American Idiot came out as well. I was in the U.S. What was that? 2001?
2001, 2002.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
I remember that.
Does Hot Topic still carry records?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
You do?
I think we've aged out of Hot Topic. I know some people go to those places to buy and sell records. Urban Outfitters is another one. I don't think is a threshold 39. If you're in there and you're older than 39, they call the authorities the pedo watch. Is that what happens?
I bring my daughter in.
Okay, yeah, maybe parents get a pass. That's true.
Some Hot Topics, you're not going to believe this. Some Hot Topics are selling CDs, baby, because they're back.
These are back. These are so back.
I will say that I'm 30, so when I was a kid, and Hot Topic was a nice place to get a
nice
T-shirt or something, and look at those like weird dildos they have in the back.
Well, I was just gonna say, don't confuse Hot Topic with. Did you have Spencer's gifts? Yeah. Spencer's is where you cut your teeth on sexuality. If you don't know about it,
it's the same brick.
Brick
thing,
facade, the faux brick walls, and then
the T-shirts hanging at the front.
Exactly, and then dildos for as far as the eye can see.
Well, why do they have those in the back? Like, I never understood. It's like
put them up front by the register.
They have like kid-friendly shirts, like Rick and Morty shit, and then you walk like 20 seconds in the store, and they have like micro penis condoms or whatever.
S&M gear. I mean, if you ever need the best in bondage.
Kind of hard to see a
micro. You guys are really testing the Boston in me right now. I'll just be honest with you. Like, no, I just mean like I'm listening. I'm just listening.
Fair enough. What's the big record store there? The
Newberry Comics.
Yeah,
Newberry.
Newberry is missing the boat. They need their like own Spencer's, like behind the candelabra or something.
Yeah, no, there are Hot Topics in Spencer's too, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Instead of all the S&M paraphernalia, Newberry Comics has 4 miles of Funko Pop.
Yes. It's like Scrooge McDuck. If you just make a quick left, then you can jump into a sea of characters you don't know who they are.
And the huge K-pop section.
Yeah, it makes me happy that you guys know about Newberry Comics. Newberry Comics used to be awesome, and like
they opened one in Long Island.
Oh, cool.
In Roosevelt Film Mall, and I go there every time we go to the mall there.
That's awesome. So they used to be awesome. I worked there for a year when I was younger, and it birthed like
the big store is the one on Market Street in Boston.
Yeah, so it moves around.
Okay.
Changes like monthly.
Because when I went to Boston, that's where I think it was in Market
Newberry Street.
Right. No, Newberry Street. Sorry.
But so just real briefly on this, they're one of the stores that is a record store store, but they're a chain. But I went there on Record Store Day. I went to like later in the day just to see what they had or whatever, and their prices were jacked.
They're so jacked.
Why do you I hate places that do that.
I don't know, because I guess
that's everywhere now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's brick and mortars that don't. Well, around me anyway, the like small ones didn't jack. Like
I was not here, but where are you from? Or like where?
Just south of Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah.
Has Chance told you that I'm a Red Sox fan?
Oh, hell yeah! Nice.
All right.
That's awesome.
Oh no! Does that mean your Wade Boggs baseball card is going to make a 18th appearance on Surface?
Yeah,
I have it over there, by the way.
I know you do.
When you showed that the other day, I was
Wade Boggs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There is one good thing about Newberry is that Newberry's so unorganized. If you dig there, you find things that are out of print or tough, and they put a lot of even though the prices are jacked up. The sale section is good.
Yes, you can find random. Like I found a John Coltrane. It came out like a few years ago on Impact's like the Lost album or something, and it was in the sale section for like $10 cheaper than and it was great. It's a great record.
Unless not all jokes or Billie Eilish, you may find anything else in the sales section. Like the stuff that never, like the really hot stuff.
Yeah, you got to go through all of it.
Right. But there's stuff that I've been surprised. And then you get it on the day where you have the coupon, which is 20 or 25% off, the sales stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I've walked out with $5-10 records.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Adam, I think I have a vinyl myth from you from our friend Norman Maslow. Have Ben and Matt bought copies? Adam, I think this is a myth that all Bostonites know Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. But Adam, how do you plead to these charges?
I mean, the best I can say to that is at the local near where I live, there is a Wahlberg straight up connection to the record store that I go to. So that's about as Boston as it gets.
That's as close. Who's the better Wahlberg, Donnie or Mark? Let's just be honest.
Yeah, you can't have me answer that. I can't be on record and say that.
Yeah, that's
Let
true.
me get let me get Mrs. Groove Seeker. She'll tell you who her favorite.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Trust me on that. I
All
can't
right,
watch Blue Bloods with her. I get jealous.
Donnie.
David, do you have another vinyl myth that you care to share with us, or are we?
I did, but it took so long to get to me. I'm not sure.
Well,
I
listen,
can
we've
remember.
got a lot. Listen, when you have an international, John, it's time to bong. Let's bong. All right.
And he goes.
What's your
I got
vinyl myth?
another.
Which one you got in the holster, David?
That pressing plants that you think are the best might not always have production practices that yield the best outcomes.
I had something similar on my list that I'm a piggyback. AAA always sounds better. That was kind of a similar myth I had, right? Because if you're just in and out of certain circles, you go to the Hoffman forums, the official butthole of the vinyl community. You would hear, depending on who you would read, it would say AAA all the way, but it's not always the case, right?
No, and the mastering engineer makes a huge difference regardless of the source. But I mean, here's a good example in my opinion. The record for the Freight, the dynamic range on it is so wide. It's unbelievable on a spectrograph.
Oh, David, you missed it. I was going to go, how wide is it?
On a spectrograph, but then, and it was done at Sterling by Ryan K. Smith. And then you take the recent Royal Scam that came out that was mastered there by someone else, and it's relatively squished compared to that, and it's louder.
It's a scam.
And it's a scam. It's a Royal Scam. but a lot of people mistake that loudness for its quote sounding better. And that's a mistake. I mean, I'd rather take something that's a little lighter with dynamic range, turn the volume up, and really hear the breadth of the music.
That's something I always say. I think most people think that just because the volume is really loud, everything's better. But it's not true. I agree.
They got taught that in the Loudness War Zone CD time. That's grounded.
That's why I think that classical music will always be like the more audiophile thing you can listen to, because if you can't hear that dynamic of the track of the piece, it really was just master horribly, because you need to have that punch and then go down and everything. Because if you feel comfortable all the way through the record being at the same level gain, there's some trickery going on. You need to feel like, oh, I had it in this slow song, I had it at 10, and now it's like the faster songs come on, you have to volume, like put it down, and that's a way better experience, I think.
Yeah, and for and the truth is, I thought about it, for people that are go out and spend $30 on the new one, they might not have as good a system, and it's going to quote sound better on their system because it's louder and whatever. Yeah. But so it's partly that aspect of it as well, I think.
I think that something that most people hear in the VC, or at least I don't hear that often, that I would always suggest is, if you have another system that's maybe a little more budgety, I think it's a good way to see how your record really sounds. Because it's, when you're a musician, they always tell you the car test, right? If it sounds good in a car, it sounds good everywhere. Because it's a tighter space.
I had 3 kids that way. I don't think I bring that up. Go ahead.
But you know what I mean? It's like, so if you have a more budget turntable, even if it's a Audio-Technica LP60 or whatever, if it sounds good there, then of course it's going to sound way better on another system. But if it already sounds like crap on a budget system, then it's always gonna be that. By the way, I found this the other day.
No, I gotta make you big. Is that the Vinyl Me Please John Coltrane poster?
No, this is the Lost album. Somebody gave me like a lot of these. They're like what do you call it? Like postcards that came out, but I have a lot. I don't know why.
All right. Are you offering these up to our viewers, or are you going to spread them in a collage?
I mean, if somebody wants one, I guess. I have it in this huge post. This is the world largest record cover ever.
And it's no flashlight. Is that what that says?
Yes, Mount Erie.
Listen, we only talk about Kind of Blue around here, Jose. I think you were late for that.
No,
part.
this is something else. But this, like, it don't fall. It's like
I see what you're saying. Yeah, like a lot of panels.
No, this is like the whole room, thing.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna do that. But I don't know why I have it here. I think
Adam, were you guys considering a similar approach for the Freight album cover to have like 42 panels, or no?
Yeah, it was the same thing. Them talking me out of guitar solos. They talked me out of like full length poster of
like Burt Reynolds. You'd be like lying on the side, kind of thing.
In a thoughtful pose,
Well, I'm being a bad guess. Adam, is there any vinyl myths, like things you've heard that or thought, like notions as a record collector yourself, that have been disproven with age, wisdom, and more information?
I mean, well, a couple things. The first thing is, like, I think just with the MoFi thing, I'm probably, I came into vinyl later than you guys. I'm not like an OG vinyl guy. I grew up with vinyl, like with my parents, and then I like went to CDs in the 90s, like full fledged, really tapes and then CDs. And then I got into vinyl probably around like 2015. But like, I didn't like MoFi. Like those silver labels, that's a generalization. I'm sure there are some that sound great, but like there was a ton that when I first started getting them, I didn't think sounded good. But I like to your point, David, I think since they've started using Fidelity pressing, I think they've like skyrocketed in their quality, like really in a crazy good way, because I was not on the MoFi, and it didn't even have to do with the digital thing really. It just had to do with like I didn't like how they sounded necessarily, the ones that I had anyway. And I just feel like recently they've gone up. So I think like the digital step being a bad thing, like Jason said, like I think that's firmly disproven now. That like obviously we know the digital step can sound good
and also remember, if it's digitally recorded, which there's nothing wrong with it,
right?
And you digitally master, and once you throw it into a record, there more the possibility of fidelity being like completely stored on the vinyl. It's way bigger than if it's analog to digital and then digital to analog. Because if it was recorded digitally, it means that when you're hearing it back, at least you're listening to 100% of what you
absolutely.
So it is, if you put the record and you put like your Pro Tools session on it, and if you hear a difference, it will be less than, because I've had analog. I've had AAA cassettes done, because we used to have like a reel-to-reel directly to a cassette master.
Yeah, that's cool.
And which is good, but again, most people won't hear the difference. I'll say that.
Did you hear a difference when you did that? Did you like when you did it to the cassette? How did that sound?
No, well. With the cassette, it's a little different because there are different ways you can duplicate a cassette. Most people now, the industry standard is double speed, and there's even like almost triple speed duplication. That means that the fidelity goes, like shorter. But we do real-time duplication, so it depends mostly on what type of cassette you're using. Right now, most people, they sell type 2, so there is like a surface noise, you could say, like a background noise that you can hear. That you have to like
you're a hustler.
You hear, but it's a minor thing. But cassettes, it's not really about most about fidelity, but there are some releases that I have that were transferred from cassette, and they sound good. What I will say that fucks up sometimes is that I don't have your record yet because supposedly someone's gonna send it to me. Apparently,
it's yeah.
It's in the Don't worry.
Listen, and I'm going to take that head on. Just like the REM controversy, that's a concert buddy thing. Because I had offered, I said, Adam, you want to pay for it? He's like, no, I insist. And so I didn't want to put the international shipping on them. So
I have a US. I have a US.
So it's my fault. But then we had the blessing of Arnaldo's initially getting lost, and Adam, stand-up guy. I didn't even tell. I said, wait the day. I think Adam, like, first thing was FedExing that Mo right over. Said Arnaldo is now rerouting a copy to Bong International headquarters, and is it Bay City, Louisiana? I don't know, John. I missed the address, but rest assured, we're taking care of
right.
Big Bad Bong.
Don't compromise the safe house.
What I was going to ask is the record color vinyl or
no black?
Oh no, you've already lost
because I was going to say something.
It's black.
No, but I'll tell you something. When you get
that's another myth. The color vinyl sounds bad.
No. Wait.
That's another myth.
Black records matter.
I can prove that.
Black is the color.
Yes, black is a color. But I'll say this: when you get test pressings, they always tend to be black. Even if you are doing the final run on a color vinyl, they give it to you on a standard black. So I have had records that I have the test pressing and the final product sound with like surface noise or whatever, but the one that I approve, the black one, doesn't have that.
Right.
So
That's right.
It does sometimes happen.
It's a chemical reality. I mean, it's not. White
tends to be the one that I've heard noisier most of the time. And
gold and
John, we don't need racism. Right? Their racism doesn't live here, John. Come on, man.
White
anything with metallic in it.
He didn't say Caucasian.
Yeah.
True.
But you know what I mean. So sometimes if you are pressing a record and you're very excited, you get the test pressing and you listen to it. Sometimes you think, oh, it's going to sound great. And if you did another color, there is a certain uncertainty that it might sound like a little bit like ass.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense.
But again, it's not always. I have great sounding color vinyl, and I don't really. What I will say is that with international shipping, if it's 180 grams, it almost always has a sim split.
Hang on, but see, John, I'm going to cut you off there because our man Adam, he asked in advance, and I think I don't want to speak. I don't know how everybody else received theirs. Mine was separated from the jacket. Was that the case for everybody?
Yep.
This is a true vinyl man because he asked and he knew, and he's seen surface noise enough to know that one seam split or ding corner, and Arnaldo will never let you hear the end of it.
I wasn't about to fuck that up. I've been around the block enough to know, you guys might hate the fucking record.
Yeah.
At least I'm going to send it to you. I'm not going to have a fucking corner ding be the thing.
See, now, John, you're bringing out the F-bombs out of Adam. See, this was going to – no, you're fine. This is a family show, but this is a La Familia. This is a different –
The only other thing I'll say is that, if there was a corner ding, Chris hasn't reached out to me yet to corner the market on every pressing that I have to jack up the price yet. So customer
service, check your voicemail, Adam, clearly because there's a call.
Customer service hasn't been notified yet. So
fair enough.
Well, but I'm just saying sometimes it's not the fault of people pressing records that at the end of the day the record has static or something.
Sure.
That's something, because I always hear people here saying oh, my record has a lot of surface noise or something like that. But the thing is, most people are artists are getting the record at the same time they're shipping it. So there's nothing really you can do. And if you tell the pressing plant, oh, this record sounds like ass, they're just gonna tell you well, what the fuck am I supposed to do? they're never going to tell you like, yes, we're going to press 300 more, 500 more, you know? So
What about this one, guys? Vinyl myth: 180 grams sounds better. I think this has been disproven repeatedly.
I think you know, there's a quote on a what is it, Emerson, Lake and Palmer record, some shit like that. I have that it says a nice quotable thing. Maybe I'll get it later on, but it's basically saying that the needle has to have room to move around, and if the record is too rigid, it tends to be like the other way around, where the record is like trying to the move, and the record's like driving in this direction. So 140, I would say 100. It's way better because the actual record can move around and let the needle track it.
It's science.
That's right. It's science, Jose. Right.
That was the whole concept behind Dynaflex, because of that very thing, actually.
Yeah. Which I think that it does have its merit, you know. But
yeah, it does.
It's the same thing with like mono needles, you know. Like if you have a stylus that's just for mono records, the actual needle, it's different than the stereo one because there's more information on a mono record on the bottom that it's on the top end. So it does need to go all the way in and listen to the whole thing. If not, you're just like listening to like
two stereo mono tracks.
Yes.
Hey, can I give a quick shout out? Wyoming Dave is doing a stellar job taking out the trash. We've got a lot of vagrants and jabronis. It's a jabroni stew out there. So Wyoming Dave,
Thanks,
high marks for taking out the trash, because there's a lot of trash out there. Don't know why.
Speaking of trash, I have another myth. I have.
Myth. Excellent.
Myth.
Name him by name, please.
The myth that my Vinyl Me Please pre-orders will arrive one day.
That's delusionary, actually.
Yeah, tough one. And how does that make you feel, Group Seeker? I have a chart from 0 to 10. How does that make you feel?
26.
26. 20. That's a good number. Round number. It's an even number. Mr. Rollhouse, do you have any more vinyl myths? Because you were you're being generous. You're being a good teammate. What other vinyl myths do you have?
Well, this one will probably just destroy the stream. So we'll just
destroy
go
it.
there, right? Okay. They said that this would never be reissued, repressed, and suddenly they came out, like how many videos are there going to be with this announcement, right? And then upcoming later, how many videos will be reviewing it, right?
What record?
I think you know what it is.
Oh no!
No, I don't. What is it?
Can I do it?
Can I tell you? I was so hoping that was going to be the Fremer record.
Can I say the?
Well, definitely didn't want the Fremer record.
And the next myth, you know what it is? That is the last run that we'll see of this box set.
They'll do it again for sure.
No way. Can I read the quote that I was gonna read? This is the Emerson
please, John, read us some prose. This is
the Emerson, Lake and Palmer record that I have. I don't give a fuck to own another pressing of this.
We're up to 5, folks.
Yeah.
5.
It says it's Greg Lake from the Dead, right? It says, to all friends of vinyl, ever since recording with King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, it has been my personal goal to achieve the best possible sound quality, and that remains true to this day. Regarding the audio reproduction quality on vinyl, the popular perception for some time has been that the best sound quality is achieved by using 180 grams weight. The reality, however, is that the particularity when using modern decks, the best audio quality is actually achieved using the lighter 140 gram weight. I am honestly not sure why this trend of using heavyweight vinyl came about, probably because of the more equals better. In the world we live in, however, in the interest of delivering the best quality audio to our fans, we have decided to go for quality rather than quantity. So it goes say something else. But what I'm saying is that there is a little science behind it. I do remember that I have one of those analog production original runs of the Doors, and I remember those being 200 grams.
Yeah, some of the MoFi Anadiscs were 200.
Yeah, but that shit I have like Bob Dylan reissues. There were like one or two that had 200 grams, but it's so unnecessary, and the prices go so much up.
Yeah, that's the thing. The pressing plant makes more money when they do that, and on the flip side, Greg Lake pays less money when he does a 140. So everybody wins.
Significantly more money to press. I mean,
yeah, yours is a 140, right, Adam?
So
yes. BMG.
Yes,
yeah,
but
I think
like,
I weighed at 142. That's what mine is.
I guess that's a question too. Like, I mean, obviously, if like a big band, label is pressing, a huge band's record, they're going to get a different price than I get. But for me to do 180 gram, it was significantly more money that was not worth it.
Wait,
grams,
by the way,
only matter in one trade, guys.
That's
by the
right.
way, Mazzy, this is not pretentious.
Grams don't matter in record
That's
trading.
right. That's
Mazzy,
right.
this is not pretentious prog. This is literally what is it in English? Pictures at an exhibition.
Yeah.
The fuck, they're just playing this shit. I don't know, and it's live, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna say that flexible vinyl. I don't have a problem with that. Here in Mexico, most records were like less than 100 grams. They were very thin.
That's too
Jose, don't let that cat out of the bag. That might get you murdered. I don't want that to happen.
But I will say that I've never had a warp record from here.
No, you won't. But you'll get noise to noise deflection from the other side potentially.
Yeah, and I believe that. I believe that. But as far as like a record all bended and everything, no, I've never seen that. The thing I agree, it's that it's more rigid in your perception. It's like, it's like it's gonna last more or whatever. But I don't know. I sometimes get here, at least here, when I'm buying like records from other people from like 2008 to like 2015, most of them.
Coming to the night.
Sorry, Louis Golden's coming in. This is probably the biggest. This is like an 8-point takedown. Myth. BC people care about music. Wow. Wow, Louis, finish him. I wish I still had the Mortal Kombat sounds on there. Holy smokes. Wow.
Does Louis have this Husker Du box set that I have? That's a real question.
John, we don't know.
It comes with like the thickest fucking book you've ever seen.
Well, we know you're an avid reader, so that's on brand. That's on brand, my friend.
Well, I am a fucking. What is this shit? Is that supposed to be like a?
No, that's a fact. That is a fact. That if anyone talks about books,
I literally have all my books here.
Yes. Hey, any other vinyl myths we want to elevate? Because I want to spend the last few minutes talking about our friend Billy Jones, who left us. Anything else on vinyl myths?
Mine was going to be the people that get books in boxes read them. See, that was going to be mine there.
I actually read this one because I don't know. I like the band.
I looked at the pictures. It's kind of like Playboy, but other than that, it's.
I've read, like, for example, the Black Sabbath box sets that I hope they keep doing because Ozzy's gonna die like in a month or two.
No.
Right, it's true.
Well, I better stock up, man.
No.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna stock up
to the July 4th. Final
concert,
show.
He'll make it there. But I'm sure if you're buying up are you buying up the Brian Wilsons and Sly Stones, because the vinyl death tax is real. I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know if today I sent some people the David Lynch because Sacred Bones did like a David Lynch stock up. I bought one. I already have the others that I needed, but I was super surprised that most of them all of them are more than $100. So,
Elliot Cruz says, I have read books recommended by John Bong, and I was straight. No Bong hit. Elliot, is the moonshine running deep? What's going on with the spelling, my friend? This is this is tough on
down
grammar.
drinking the moonshine at this time.
Oh, Wow.
Um,
Well, let's close with this because we're running up on time. So Billy Jones passed over the weekend. That was a real drag. I didn't know him as well. I'm not going to pretend. I had the pleasure of meeting him twice in Austin and then at WFMU in the fall. So just want to go around. If I know Arnaldo, Arnaldo and Jason went to the shop 2 years ago for the WFMU gathering. Arnaldo, I'll start with you. Like, kind of thoughts on Billy. Great guy, great energy. Like, I have nothing. I mean, I was literally floored when I heard that because I knew he had some health things that weren't really
I
public.
I didn't know at all. And just last Saturday, no, the Saturday before last, that I learned from the Instagram that there was a post that he was moving his shop, which came to my surprise. And the justification was, I guess, there was a different new landlord and they had to find a new spot. And so I went to the moving sale and there were a lot of people at the shop, but I didn't see Billy. So I didn't make much of it. And I thought, okay, maybe he's alternating days because the sale was happening on Saturday and Sunday. And then the following Saturday, this past Saturday, we found out that he passed away. So really sweet guy. I'll never forget how welcoming he was. He had just opened the shop and I had visited the shop when it opened a couple times. And he said, I'm thinking of doing a post WFMU that was in 2023 after show party. And that was a fantastic gathering. We had a really great time and listening to music, drinking, shopping for
Yes, I heard it was a rager. And quite honestly, it's one of the reasons I came to WFMU last year is I was hoping we could try to emulate that. But then since Concert Buddy was coming, everyone fragmented. So we couldn't do it. But the shop, if people don't know, is Billy's Record Salon in Brooklyn proper. Is that right, Arnold?
Yes, in Brooklyn. And he'll be missed because he was also before in his daytime, or I don't want to call it daytime, let's call it more nighttime. He was also I didn't understand if he was the manager
or the
co-owner of Baby's All Right, which is a small music venue, but very vibrant artists.
Very important.
Yeah, no, but sometimes you'll have surprise gigs by names, really important people that may show up, or you'll catch the artist right before they blow up at, Baby's All Right. So he'll be missed by that crowd.
Yeah, sure.
So it's an overall loss for the New York music scene, whether it's live music or record buying. So
yeah.
Jason, I know you've already called it out for your Sunday DJ stream. You're gonna a tribute to Sly, and are you gonna add Brian Wilson to the marquee? Brian Wilson, Sly Stone, and our friend Billy Jones.
Right. So I had a lot of mutual friends in New York that were really good friends with Billy. So rest in peace.
Is that Jason?
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, technical difficulties, John. Come here, break.
Mr. Bong.
That's not the voice. That's not.
So I did get like a kind of like a playlist of his favorite songs. So we'll be playing those.
So that'll be Sunday. That'll probably air before. That already have aired. So go back and watch it when I think this hits the podcast airwaves. Sunday. Help me with the date. 22nd.
No,
16th.
No,
16th. Sorry. I'm looking down.
So I'll be playing like Brian Wilson's favorite songs. Sly Stone, of course.
Norbit. You gotta watch Norbit, the movie.
We'll play
Norbit. That was Brian Wilson's favorite movie. He said it in an interview.
We'll play like Billy's favorite songs, so it'll be great.
Awesome. And then of course, John. I think John Bong met Billy. This was like it was at I think Austin 2 years ago.
Yes, and I will say that, for example, I talked with him like an hour before he even mentioned he was the owner of Baby's All Right, because we were talking about something else. And when he told me that, I was like, he was so chill about it, because I've been to Baby's All Right every single time I've been to New York. I've been to Baby's All Right. I have so many friends that play there. I saw so many bands that I like there. And he was super casual, like, "Oh yeah, I'm a co-owner of Baby's All Right." And I was blown away, because I was like, "Well," and I told him one of my highlights in life, I hope one day I can play over there in Baby's All Right. And we kept talking, and a few friends of mine play there like 2-3 months ago. So he was a very open-minded guy for getting people playing there. Again, I know a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people that play there. That there was like the first time they played in New York, or that I have someone in our label that I remember reached out because he was like, we only have one night, can we play this night? And he was like, yeah, for sure. So it was a very open thing. If you read like the Instagram posts, is very interesting. You see like famous people. I saw Sharon Van Etten post that her first show in New York was there. You know, so that's pretty cool. You know, like it, and you know, I'm sad that I didn't got to meet him more. I did talk to him like on Instagram every now and again, some records.
Did he? I forget. In Austin, did he get to experience gluten-free, Jose? Because I know he was only in for
we
a
were
day.
at the restaurant. Yeah, we were at the restaurant.
Yeah. So he got he got the full John Bong experience. So that's
he was there for like 2 or 3 days, and I think I saw him every day.
Well, unless it's a different time. He was only, I think he came for early bird, and then he was gone, I think, the next day, right? Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it was 2 days because I don't remember. I don't remember if it was the same day that we went to that horrible Mexican restaurant that everybody dragged me to, and then it was just like stereotypical Mexican. Oh, where's the fucking nachos? And you know, I live here, so it's like the guy selling Chinese food.
You call those nachos? Jose pulls out his own bag of gluten-free chips.
Well, over here they call them totopos. Yeah, but anyway, but I remember him there, and then I remember we went to where the Airbnb that we were staying.
Right.
And I don't remember if it was the same day or a day afterwards, but
I think it was because I think he slept on the couch. Like it was that kind of deal. Like he was just in.
He had a huge stack of records. I remember I was impressed because I was telling him like, well, you know, I saw this. I was like showing him pictures. I saw all these records that I wanted. It's like, why didn't you get them? I was like, I don't have money. And he was like, well, just get them. Like you figure it out later. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, you know, I have a wife. Like, what is this? And he was like, yeah, you'll figure it. Go and get some records and you'll figure it out later. And I don't know. It was a very nice conversation. The records I showed him, he actually wanted to know why I got them. He didn't know those. And I don't know. He looked very excited about the things he got and that he didn't even know about some. So I don't know. I wish I could have met him a little more. He was interesting guy and had a bigger impact. Again, I saw
a lot of tributes.
Capture Tracks, the record label. I saw. I think Pitchfork put it up. Brooklyn Vegan put it up. I saw so many outputs that I follow, and I saw that Brooklyn Vegan said that the first ever post they ever did was him playing the show.
I read that,
yeah. So that was you know, again, you don't know people unfortunately till you know a chapter closes, but again. He had a big impact, and the only thing I can say is I hope the venue doesn't close because it's like a sort of a safe haven for a lot of artists, up and coming artists, and I still want to play there someday. So
yeah. You know. So I'm gonna put a bow on this one. So like I said, I only met Billy twice. I met him in Austin and met him at WFMU. And again, for somebody you only meet twice, like the second time I saw him, he acted like we were like bros from a long time. He came up and gave me a hug and. You know, very disarming, super nice, great energy. You know, I didn't ask, but I knew there was some health stuff going on there. So then to hear that there's a lot more severe, obviously, than probably.
And aggressive, very fast.
Very aggressive. And I mean, he just, you know, what a champ because, you know, he was just pushing through. So anyway, just wanted to say that, Billy, we're going to miss you. Great guy. And hate to end the show on a downer like that, but Billy's spirit was nothing even close to a downer. So I'm sure, again, check out Jason's live stream coming up this weekend. Probably talk more about him, probably hear some more people talk about him, or at least in the chat. And that's Surface Noise. I want to thank our guests, the usual, John Bong, fashionably late, but great to have him here. The Groove Seeker, the birthday boy, good to have you here. Arnaldo, David, Rollhouse, and then, of course, special guest. Get the album, I think, in approximately, hang on, I'm bad at numbers, in a little less than an hour.
Yeah.
Less than an hour of live time. If you're listening to this on the pod, yeah, you're gonna hang on. We can.
Well, that's it, Jason. Promote the wrong band.
Yes.
I don't have a record, so I'll promote this small brand. Small brand.
Yeah, Jose promoting his Marvel. Where's the Wade Boggs card? Can you give him the Wade Boggs card? Is that handy?
It's too far away.
It's right there.
Of course, the one time we need it. The one time we need it. So anyway, Adam, congratulations. So excited for you. Keep us in your hearts and keep us in your thoughts and continue making VC stuff. You're getting really good at it, and that's all I can say. Enough flower.
Yeah, no, truly, thank you all. I appreciate you all for even just wanting to hear the record. Just thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, and hey, on your way out the door, don't forget to hit that like button. That's a cheap plug, but anyway, let's. I gotta throw that in there. I'm terrible about that kind of stuff. All right. Let's go with how do we get out of here? I think we got out of here like this.
Hit the like, you fucks.
That's right. Oh no, that's not the one we want.
All right. Too aggressive.
Oh, that would have been real smooth.
Too aggressive.
Here we go. Nice.